Star Wars Battlefront 2. We've been told just this week that cosmetics are not an option for the game, thanks to the prying eyes and controlling hands of Disney. However, they might in fact already be in the game.
We recently reported on what EA's Chief Financial Officer Blake Jorgensen had to say about why Star Wars Battlefront 2 has loot boxes but didn't opt for cosmetic customization. Character customization was available in 2015's Star Wars Battlefront, and while the sequel is infested with loot boxes, the cosmetic options are basically non-existent. I mean, there's emotes and that's it. EA instead went for a progression-based loot box system, which has been the main source of all this controversy around the game. In an attempt to explain this state of affairs, Jorgensen said this week, quote, "The one thing we're very focused on, and they, meaning Disney, are extremely focused on, is not violating the canon of Star Wars. You probably don't want Darth Vader in pink, no offense to pink, but I don't think that's right in the canon."
Shortly after Jorgensen said this, however, a notorious data miner released a pretty damning new video. Redditor Uninspired Zebra showed off a bunch of inaccessible menus in Star Wars Battlefront 2 that, lo and behold, allow for character customization. That's right, customization is already in the game, buried where no one else can see it. The video shows that each Assault character can be customized with a variety of skins, but unfortunately there's no option for customizing heroes, which means no pink Darth Vader. In a Reddit AMA in mid-November, EA DICE devs said they were aware players wanted customization options, saying, quote, "It's on our list of things we're looking at daily. Stay tuned."
This is exactly what EA didn't need to happen right now. This is the Chief Financial Officer saying, yeah, cosmetics is never going to happen. It's not going to work. Disney won't allow it. A day later, a Redditor goes, yeah, they're in the game. They really are. It's like a minute and a half video. It's worth watching. You've probably seen it in the voiceover just then. It's just the Assault class, which is one of the multiplayer classes, and all the different varieties in there. It's not a huge amount, to be fair, but they are there. There's varieties there. It does look like they are genuine customization options that just haven't been activated yet.
It makes you wonder whether Blake Jorgensen's actually telling the truth in his interview. Yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I mean, I hate to ask such a question of such a guy. Unlike Star Wars Battlefront 2, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has been doing quite well this year, but the game is certainly not without its critics, as Brendan Greene, the man behind the early access title, recently told Games TM, quote, "There are a lot of misconceptions about development or what we're doing, like even some commentators saying we're pump and dump, and it's like, how could you think that? Really? We've shown off for the last 6 months that we want to finish this, you know, and just because we had to pull back an update, so then people are thinking, take the money and run." But it's like, no.
Pump and dump sounds like something that you do before you go out on a night out, isn't it?
Pump and dump, no, is fart and shit. Pump and dump. Pump is a very soft word for farting in Britain.
Yeah, I get it now. You're going into the toilet for a pump and dump, right?
Right, now that that's cleared up, let's carry on. Greene said, quote, "Making games is hard and the consumers don't realise that." He also explained that unexpected problems and financial issues can quickly derail a project. Quote, "A small team might run into a problem they cannot solve and they run out of money, and then like, what do you do then? So many people have such optimism when starting to make a new game, but then making games is hard, so you run into an issue and you're like, you know?" Well, he's not the most articulate guy, Brendan Greene, but you kind of get his point there. Games development is tough, and then people are quick to kind of go, oh, they're just scamming us, or they're being lazy, or whatever, and that, you know, as he's saying, there is rarely the case. It's just actually really hard, and maybe gamers don't appreciate that, which does kind of feel like a well-done kind of point to make, because of course they don't appreciate it. They're not games developers, so they don't know what things are like, and their interpretation of things is going to be different. But I think he does have a point.
In more PUBG news, it seems fans won't be waiting very long to get their first proper look at the upcoming new desert map. Data miners have already been busy finding images of the new map in game updates, and in recent images it looks as though it's near completion. Well, now Jeff Keighley, the host of the Game Awards, announced on Twitter that the new desert map would indeed be shown off during the 2017 awards show on Friday, December the 8th. And unlike the images of the map we've seen, this will be the first glimpse at gameplay of the upcoming map. This is exciting, right? This is what everyone wants, a new map, isn't it? I mean, we talk about PUBG every couple of weeks, and we're running out of things to say now. It's another map. We've already talked about the map. Show us the map. Just release the game, maybe. Yeah, no wonder everyone's getting pissed off with Brendan Greene, because everyone's just waiting for just release the game, damn it.
Yeah.
I wasn't intending this to turn into a rant.
No, I didn't know that was going to happen. You know the new Star Citizen, the highly ambitious crowdfunded game that's raised millions of dollars through its Kickstarter campaign and other means, is now selling virtual land to players. Players can already buy a variety of ships for hundreds of dollars in the game, but now developers Cloud Imperium are allowing players to purchase plots of land for 100 actual real dollars. And that's despite the fact the mechanic isn't really built into the game yet. For $50 you can get a 4 square kilometer parcel of land, or for $100 you can double that space. The developers have stated, however, that eventually you will be able to buy land with in-game credits, which will be earned through playing the game, of course. The purpose behind the ability to buy land with real-world money at this stage is, as the developers state, to help fund Star Citizen's development. The project has, according to the game's official site, Roberts Industries, already raised over $169 million. You know,
is that not enough?
I don't know many movies that have got budgets bigger than that at this point. That is enormous amounts of money.
And they're still asking for more money. I think this is why, one of the reasons why they get criticised so often is they need more money than this $169 million. And I think, how much of an advantage will that give to the people who are investing these $50, $100 over the people who just play it when it comes out? They have the prime real estate on the most important planets, like an EVE Online, like Jita's, the biggest the hub place in the whole of the universe. Is it going to be worth $5,000 by the time the game releases? How far behind am I going to be when I start playing it when it's released? They're already going to be far behind. It puts me off a lot, I must say.
It is massive amounts of money. It's both impressive and it is the main source of, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to get scolded for it, suspicion. Because you go $169 million and they still want $100 a pop. It's because the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding looks absolutely delicious, and a lot of players get to see a lot of this pudding and even try some of it, but the pudding isn't there yet.
Elsewhere, physical game sales have been declining for the past few years, while digital sales have only been on the rise. Over the last 12 months or so, numerous big AAA titles have seen a dramatic drop in sales, thanks in large part to the fact that only physical sales can be independently counted. Digital sales and charts are still difficult to nail down. A major example this year was with Destiny 2, with physical sales down 50% from 2014's original, but its actual player count suggested that digital sales may have made up for a lot of that. While now Take-Two's president Karl Slatoff has spoken out about the recent change in trend towards digital purchases, suggesting physical games will disappear completely not too far into the future. Slatoff said, quote, "I think over the long term it will be 100% digital. I just can't predict whether that's 5 years, 10 years or 20 years. It's probably less than 20 and maybe more than 5, but I think it ultimately gets there. That's the zeitgeist. Things are moving in that direction."
As for why the Take-Two president thinks physical will disappear so suddenly, he said, quote, "Why I think it's a little quicker than people imagined is honestly Sony and Microsoft have done a really nice job with their services. You've got more people on Xbox Live, more people on PSN, and it helps. The friction is going away at a quicker rate because these platforms have been really well developed and the consumers love it." Slatoff did acknowledge, however, that physical games are, quote, "very important and are still the majority of our business." Well, yeah, there's been loads of games in the last 12 months, and a lot of the videos that we have made on the channel have been about games that, like, why is no one playing these? Why is no one buying these? And why are the sales down on the original stuff? And in large part, it's digital sales, it seems, because the player counts are still pretty good, and they are on Destiny 2. It's certainly the case. You can see the player counts quite clearly there. The amount of players that actually bought it haven't really dropped off, although the sales, the actual official sales, have, because they only count physical. They can't count digital for whatever reason yet, and it just seems like it's doing worse when actually there's just loads of people buying digital copies now.
We've seen it in other industries like the movie industry and the music industry, where the physical side of things has completely declined. You used to see loads of movie shops or DVDs, like tape shops back in the day, weren't it? Like VHS tape shops and like rental shops and stuff like that, and then also CD shops. You just don't see them anymore. You can only get DVDs and CDs now in supermarkets pretty much in our country. So is that the fate of the game now? Just like you're gonna have to buy your physical games in the supermarket if you can even get your hands on them at all.
It's really interesting that he's saying that the fact that PSN is so good and Xbox Live is so good for just making those purchases easier, that's what's bringing people over. I think that's definitely the point. The fact that it's so easy and enjoyable to do, just like, yeah, I'll have that. You buy it, you download it, and 4, 5, 6 hours later it's on your console and you can play. You don't have to go out, you don't have to order it off Amazon, it just happens on your machine. That's cool. Yeah, like guys were saying with the music shops, it's like the charts in the UK, they took up digital sales. They count digital sales. Now it's even like streaming sales and streaming numbers and whatever. It's evolved in music. It just hasn't moved on with games yet. I don't know why companies are still so reticent to release digital numbers. The sooner they do that, the better, because it's got to help in the financial meetings and stuff. They don't have to explain, yes, the sales are down. However, trust us, the digital sales are great. That's what they've got to do at the moment. So why just release the numbers, innit? Make it easier for everyone. Just make it all transparent, and then that kind of story will just disappear.
So there's our roundup for Sunday the 3rd of December. Let us know what caught your eye in the headlines down in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out another one of our videos around about there. Support us on Patreon if you are awesome. We will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.